Okay, so let's unpack this for a second. Imagine bringing home a report card with just like straight A
Oh
pluses.
yeah, the absolute dream scenario for a
Oh,
kid.
right, exactly. But then instead of, taking you out for ice cream to celebrate, your parents just ground you.
Ground you.
Yeah, they ground you because you didn't finish the final exam like 5 minutes faster.
Wow. That is, yeah, that's incredibly harsh.
It is. But that's exactly what happened on August 12th to a company called Coherent. Ticker symbol is COHR.
Oh, right, the Q4 fiscal 2026 report.
Yes, exactly. They reported their best financial year in history. I mean, an absolutely incredible fiscal fourth quarter earnings report.
And then the market just punished them.
Immediately, Wall Street slashed their stock by 8%, right out of the gate. So welcome to this deep dive, everyone. We are custom tailoring this analysis for you today because, honestly, this scenario highlights just a massive paradox in the financial markets.
It really does. It's that classic tension between flawless historical execution and, well, the really ruthless forward-looking math that institutional investors use.
Right, because make it make sense. How does a company crush expectations across the board and still lose 8% of its value in a day?
Well, it's because, and you know this, but the markets do not grade you on the absolute numbers you just printed.
Even if they look amazing in a press release.
Exactly. No matter how impressive they look, they grade you on the trajectory of what you will do next. That slope of improvement is everything.
Right.
And, I mean, if we look at Coherent over the last 5 years, it has been a notoriously volatile ride for you to watch. I mean, the stock traded at $72, then it collapsed down to, what, $32?
Yeah, around 32 during that period of heavy debt and all the merger integration stuff.
Right. Then it skyrockets to nearly $400 on the back of the whole AI boom. And now it's hovering around $327. So investors are basically trying to price a company that is transitioning from this highly leveraged legacy business into really the critical supplier for an entirely new technological paradigm.
Okay, but let's just establish how spectacularly they performed on paper first, because the foundation of this whole paradox is the Q4 2026 report itself. It was phenomenal.
Oh, absolutely. The headline numbers were massive.
Yeah, they posted record fourth quarter revenue of $2.05 billion. And, if you strip out the divestitures.
Launches Aerospace and Defense Unit, I think.
Yep, that one. And also a product division over in Munich. If you pull those out, the true pro forma like-for-like core business grew by 42% year over year.
Which is staggering at that scale.
Exactly. And the bottom line was even stronger. Earnings per share hit $1.74. That's a 74% jump.
Wow.
So they literally doubled their earnings growth rate compared to their revenue. I mean, usually that signals immense operating leverage, right?
It does. It definitely does. And we also have to look at the massive balance sheet transformation happening here.
Right. The debt.
Yeah, during those merger years, Coherent was carrying a debt load that made investors deeply, deeply uncomfortable. But in just 12 months, they slashed their debt leverage from 2.0 times down to 0.7 times.
They paid off over $500 million in debt.
Exactly. And their trailing 12-month operating profit is now sitting at almost $1.5 billion.
So the story, it used to be about debt repair. Now it is entirely about handling hypergrowth.
Which makes the 8% penalty look totally absurd on the surface.
Yeah, until you look at the guidance.
Right. So what does this all mean? The twist is that the drop happened solely because of the gross margin guidance. Coherent hit a gross margin of 40.2% for the quarter, but then they guided the next quarter to about 40.5% at the midpoint.
Ah, right. And they had previously stated a target of getting margins above 42%. Exactly. So Wall Street is literally having a meltdown over a fraction of a percent in projected gross margins. I mean, revenue is growing at 42%.
I know, it sounds overly punitive. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, the math at this scale is just unforgiving.
How so?
Well, think about it. If you are projecting a 42% margin on what is very quickly going to be a $3 billion quarterly revenue run rate,
Okay.
missing that target by just 1.5%, that means $45 million of gross profit just vanishes in a single quarter.
Oh, wow. Okay, when you put it like that.
Right. And in a highly capital-intensive manufacturing business like this, that miss fundamentally alters the free cash flow models that Wall Street completely relies on. Incremental margins actually step down from the mid-40s that we saw earlier in the year.
Interesting. So it's not that people don't want to buy what they're selling.
Not at all. The market is not questioning the underlying demand. Management was super clear that they had the strongest visibility in company history right now.
Right.
What investors are questioning is the cost required to actually fulfill that demand. Building the infrastructure that makes the AI internet work. That relies on a very specific bottleneck.
And to understand that bottleneck, you really have to look at what Coherent actually manufactures, because it comes down to the literal physics of photonics.
Yes, indium phosphide.
Exactly. Coherent is vertically integrated, and the whole foundation of their AI business is indium phosphide. Because, silicon is great for computing, right? But it's an indirect bandgap semiconductor.
Meaning it's terrible emitting light.
Terribly inefficient. But indium phosphide is a direct bandgap material. It emits light highly efficiently. It is the essential raw material, the magic material, really for the laser chips that send data at the speed of light through fiber optic cables in these data centers.
Right, because if you're building an AI cluster with, tens of thousands of GPUs, the data has to move between those chips instantly.
Instantly. And those indium phosphide lasers are the true bottleneck of that entire process. And Coherent completely controls it.
They absolutely dominate it. I mean, looking at the numbers, in the June quarter alone, they produced 80% more indium phosphide lasers than they did a year earlier.
80%.
Yeah. And because the lasers are manufactured first and then, assembled into optical transceivers the following quarter, that 80% figure, it's a direct leading indicator.
Oh, so it guarantees the growth for the next quarter.
Exactly. It tells us that data center transceiver growth next quarter will exceed 80%.
Yeah.
And their internal output is scheduled to double by the end of Q1 2027.
Which is ahead of schedule, right?
Yes, a full quarter ahead of schedule. And then it's set to double again by the end of calendar 2027.
And here's where the margin anxiety comes back in. Achieving that output isn't just about, plugging in more machines on the factory floor.
No, it's a fundamental physical shift.
Right. They are upgrading their fab facilities in Texas and Sweden to transition from growing this stuff on 3-inch wafers to 6-inch wafers. And the economics are crazy good if they get it right.
Oh, yeah. 4 times the output at half the cost.
Exactly. A 6-inch wafer has roughly 4 times the surface area, yielding 4 times the chips for about half the processing cost per chip.
Growing those larger crystalline structures is incredibly difficult.
It really is. As you increase the diameter of the wafer, keeping that atomic uniformity becomes exponentially harder.
Right, because the larger the surface area, the higher the probability of crystalline defects.
Right, exactly. And if a 6-inch wafer develops a flaw during the growth phase, you are throwing away a massive amount of incredibly expensive material.
So that's where the 42% margin skepticism comes from. It's deeply tied to the physical challenge of perfecting this 6-inch yield, which is exactly why their vertical integration is so critical. Very few companies can grow the raw substrate, process it into a 6-inch wafer, fabricate the laser, and then assemble the finished module. Coherent manages that entire chain.
Here's where it gets really interesting to me. I was thinking about this. They aren't just baking the bread, They own the only flour mill in town, and they grow the wheat.
Huh. I like that analogy.
Right. Because if you control the indium phosphide, you dictate the speed limit of the entire data center industry. The hyperscalers literally cannot move faster than Coherent can supply them with lasers. Plus, they operate over 20 production facilities right here in the U.S. And with all these rumors going around about potential U.S. import restrictions on foreign-made transceivers...
Having a massive domestic manufacturing footprint is a huge strategic moat. Management even confirmed on the earnings call that customers are already initiating discussions about domestic options, specifically to front-run any government restrictions.
Yeah, that's huge.
But we do need to contextualize that moat for a second. The financial analysis in our sources actually rates Coherent's competitive moat as narrow rather than wide.
Wait, really? With all that integration and domestic capacity?
Yeah. The integration and facilities are tangible assets for sure, but their customer base is highly concentrated. They are selling to a very small, very powerful group of massively capitalized hyperscalers.
Oh, the major tech giants building the AI data centers?
Exactly. And when buyers possess that level of market power, they dictate terms. Plus, Coherent isn't completely alone. They face competition from established players like Lumentum and Broadcom, and there's a rising wave of Chinese indium phosphide capacity entering the market.
Okay, that makes sense. And that concentration of buyer power leads to another really fascinating dynamic, these long-term volume agreements.
Right.
Which give Coherent this superpower that most tech companies lack right now, unprecedented visibility into the future. But it also caps their upside.
How so?
Well, think about the spot market right now. AI components are in a severe shortage. A supplier without long-term contracts could theoretically just hike prices to the moon to capitalize on the panic, right?
Sure, it's supply and demand.
But Coherent can't do that. Their prices are negotiated and locked in years in advance. Plus, there is always the threat of backward integration. These hyperscalers have basically infinite capital. If margins in the optical components space get too high, they could just decide to build the manufacturing capabilities themselves.
Ah, I see. But the trade-off for capping that upside is the complete de-risking of their revenue pipeline.
Exactly.
And the visibility management has right now extends well past the middle of the decade. I mean, fiscal 2027 is essentially fully booked.
Fully booked. That's insane.
Customers are already placing hard purchase orders into calendar 2028. And these long-term agreements extend all the way out to 2030, and they include take-or-pay minimums.
Wait, take or pay, so they get paid no matter what.
Basically, yeah. The hyperscalers are contractually obligated to buy a specific volume at a set price, and if they fail to take delivery, they still have to pay Coherent.
Oh, wow. So that guaranteed revenue is why management is so confident putting a massive operational stake in the ground. They are targeting a $3 billion quarter by the end of fiscal 2027.
Right.
I mean, they just reported a record $2.05 billion. So they are projecting nearly 50% revenue growth from current record levels, backed almost entirely by contracts already sitting in their filing cabinets.
It's incredible. And the nature of what they are actually shipping is evolving, too. To handle the massive power requirements of AI, data center architecture is changing.
The shift towards CPO, right? Co-packaged optics.
Exactly. Traditionally, you have optical transceivers sitting at the edge of the server rack, and electrical signals got to travel all the way across the circuit board to reach the compute chip.
Which creates latency and burns a ton of power.
Right. CPO moves the laser source directly next to the compute silicon. It drastically reduces power consumption and increases bandwidth.
And Wall Street had been kind of nervous that this CPO transition was facing delays,
Yeah.
but the CEO directly addressed this. He said demand for CPO is actually pulling in faster than anticipated.
Yep, it's accelerating.
They've already started production wafers for shipments expected in December, and they are launching their new Photon Link platform on September 21st just for this architecture. But here's the crazy part. There's a massive debate among the hyperscalers between CPO and this competing architecture called Near Packaged Optics, or NPO.
Right. Everyone is trying to figure out which physical layout will become the industry standard.
But Coherent's strategic advantage is that they are totally architecture agnostic.
Ah, yes.
The CEO said that whether a client builds around CPO or NPO, Coherent's dollar content per socket is exactly the same.
Because they supply the whole chain. The external light sources, the optical isolators, the polarization maintaining fiber.
Yes. Wait, so they don't even have to bet on which technology wins the war. They are selling shovels in a gold rush, but they also own the rights to the pickaxes, the buckets, and the wheelbarrows. They provide the foundational physics required for either to work.
That is a phenomenal position to be in, but this raises an important question.
Okay, lay it on me.
If the future is fully booked and their technological position is this secure, why is the stock derating?
Right, we have to look at the bear case.
We do, and it really comes down to the mechanics of cash burn. Building this guaranteed future requires just an astonishing amount of capital up front. Capital intensity is the core friction point for investors right now.
Because they are spending money faster than they can print it.
Exactly. Capital expenditure, or CapEx, nearly doubled sequentially. It hit $556 million in a single quarter.
$500 million in 3 months.
Yeah. And management's guidance indicates this number will just continue to climb. The financial scorecard we looked at tracks 6 quality criteria using metrics like the Rule of 40.
Remind me how that works again.
Sure. The Rule of 40 dictates that a healthy tech company's revenue growth rate plus its profit margin should equal or exceed 40.
Okay.
Coherent's easily passed this. They scored a 5 out of 6 overall, which is their strongest fundamental reading in 5 years. Operating profit is accelerating, debt leverage is down, but they completely failed the free cash flow test.
Yeah, they failed it hard. Free cash flow ran at a negative 70% of operating profit. That $500 million they spent upgrading facilities and buying equipment, it caused their cash on hand to drop from $3.05 billion down to $2.59 billion.
And the time lag is what really makes Wall Street nervous. That $556 million leaves the bank account immediately to buy machines today, but the revenue generated by those machines amortizes over years.
Right. They're betting the house that these 6-inch wafer facilities will pay off in 18 months, backed by those contracts. But let's look at the concentration risk for a second. Data center and communications now make up 79% of their total revenue.
Wow, 79%.
Yeah, and meanwhile, the industrial side of their business actually shrank by 10% over the full year. So if the AI data center craze takes a breather, aren't they left holding an incredibly expensive empty bag?
Well, the entire company is basically being driven by a single macroeconomic wave right now. And the optical components industry is historically one of the most cyclical sectors in technology.
Oh, for sure.
We've seen past cycles where demand just evaporates, leading to like 40% revenue drawdowns across the industry.
Yeah.
Now, the take-or-pay contracts mitigate that downside a bit, but the market ruthlessly weighs immediate cash burn against delayed margin targets.
Yep.
Investors see $500 million exiting the balance sheet today, while management is asking for, patience regarding that 42% gross margin target.
Because Wall Street is pricing in the present reality of the cash flow statement, not the future promise of the contracts, it really highlights the difference between measuring business quality and market pricing.
Absolutely. Operationally, Coherent is executing a masterclass turnaround. They deleveraged the balance sheet, they're pulling forward their capacity, doubling to meet hyperscaler demand, and they are dominating the indium phosphide bottleneck.
But public markets penalize heavy, immediate capital expenditures if they outpace current profitability, even if those expenditures are entirely necessary to maintain market leadership.
Right. A thriving underlying business can still experience a derating in its stock price. The debate surrounding Coherent has shifted completely away from whether they can grow top-line revenue and into this fierce debate over how profitably they can convert that revenue into free cash flow.
Okay, but before we wrap up, we need to address a critical detail in the analysis that completely reframes this entire margin debate.
Oh, the substitution risk.
Yes. We just spent all this time analyzing indium phosphide, the physics of 6-inch wafers, and how controlling that material allows Coherent to dictate the pace of AI data centers. But the ultimate risk to a company built around a single material bottleneck is, what if they don't need the material anymore?
Exactly. What happens if the industry figures out how to bypass indium phosphide entirely? The threat of obsolescence is the giant shadow hanging over any highly specialized hardware manufacturer.
Right.
And the analysis points specifically to technologies like silicon photonics and VCSELs.
Vertical cavity surface emitting lasers, yeah. Silicon photonics is like the holy grail for a lot of these tech companies, right?
Yeah.
Because it uses standard, abundant silicon foundries to manipulate light. It would be drastically cheaper than manufacturing rare compounds like indium phosphide.
Yep. And VCSELs emit light vertically from the surface of the chip, rather than from the edge, which makes them significantly cheaper to produce and test in massive arrays.
Currently, indium phosphide is absolutely required for the fastest, longest-reach data transmission in these massive AI clusters. Silicon photonics and VCSELs historically just couldn't match the speed or distance. But, physics and engineering never stand still.
No, they don't. Now, Coherent's management argues that their immense scale, the improved yields they'll get from the 6-inch wafer transition, and the security of their U.S.-based manufacturing footprint provide this insurmountable barrier against competitors and substitute technologies alike.
But a massive manufacturing lead cannot shield a company from a fundamental shift in underlying technology. If a competitor cracks the code, allowing silicon photonics to achieve high-speed, long-distance transmission at a fraction of the cost, the entire indium phosphide bottleneck becomes completely irrelevant.
It really does.
It's like, going back to our analogy, having the only flour mill in town is incredibly lucrative, right up until the exact moment someone invents a cheaper, faster substitute for bread.
Wow. That's a great way to look at it.
So, as you, the listener, watch Coherent navigate these next few years, and as you see institutional investors hyperventilating over whether the company hits 40.5% or 42% gross margins, consider whether the market is focused on the wrong risk entirely.
Yeah, that's the real takeaway here.
Exactly. The most dangerous threat to this $3 billion revenue target isn't a slight miss on manufacturing margins. It's the possibility of total technological obsolescence.